Northrop Grumman B-2, Spirit, the invisible giant that changed modern warfare, 2026. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to fly an aircraft that enemy radar simply cannot see? Imagine launching from the heart of America, crossing oceans without being detected, striking a target thousands of miles away with pinpoint precision, and returning home before the enemy even realizes what happened. It sounds like science fiction, yet for more than 3 decades, this has been the extraordinary reality of one of the most secretive and feared aircraft ever built, the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit. Even in 2026, despite being more than 30 years old, the B-2 remains one of the most advanced strategic bombers ever to take to the skies. While a new generation of stealth aircraft is beginning to emerge, no other operational bomber has matched the B-2's unique combination of stealth, range, precision, and overwhelming firepower. Every mission it flies is a reminder that true technological superiority isn't always about speed or size. Sometimes the greatest advantage is remaining completely invisible. The B-2 Spirit wasn't designed to win dogfights. It wasn't built to impress crowds at air shows. It was created for one purpose: to penetrate the most heavily defended airspace on Earth and accomplish missions that no other aircraft could survive. Behind its smooth, futuristic silhouette lies decades of engineering innovation, military strategy, and some of the most closely guarded aerospace technology ever developed. Today, we're taking an inside look at the remarkable aircraft that transformed aerial warfare forever. From its revolutionary flying wing design to its astonishing stealth capabilities, we'll explore how the B-2 became one of America's greatest military assets, and why, even as retirement approaches, it continues to command respect around the globe. The story of the B-2 Spirit begins during one of the most dangerous periods in modern history, the Cold War. As tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union intensified, military planners faced an increasingly difficult challenge. Potential adversaries were constructing dense networks of radar stations, surface-to-air missile batteries, and interceptor aircraft capable of detecting and destroying traditional bombers long before they reached their targets. The era when massive bomber formations could simply overpower enemy defenses was rapidly coming to an end. American military leaders understood that future conflicts would require something entirely different. They needed an aircraft capable of entering heavily defended airspace without being detected at all. Instead of relying on speed or overwhelming numbers, survival would depend on becoming virtually invisible. This ambitious vision led engineers at Northrop to revisit a concept that had fascinated aviation pioneers for decades: the flying wing. Unlike conventional aircraft with a separate fuselage, tail and wings, the flying wing combines nearly every major component into one seamless structure. At first glance, the design appears incredibly simple. In reality, it represents one of the most difficult aerodynamic configurations ever attempted. Without a vertical tail, aircraft naturally become unstable. Most airplanes rely on their tail surfaces to remain balanced during flight. Remove them, and the aircraft constantly wants to drift, roll, or yaw unpredictably. For decades, this made the flying wing impractical. But by the late 20th century, advances in digital computers changed everything. Instead of depending on aerodynamic stability alone, engineers developed sophisticated flight control computers capable of making thousands of tiny corrections every second. These systems constantly adjusted the aircraft's contours, trolled surfaces faster than any human pilot ever could. Suddenly, what had once been impossible became reality. The result was an aircraft unlike anything the world had ever seen. When the B-2 made its public debut, it looked less like an airplane and more like something that had arrived from the future. Its smooth curves, sharply swept wings, and seamless shape immediately separated it from every other military aircraft in existence. But every curve served a purpose. Nothing about the B-2's appearance was accidental. Traditional aircraft contain countless surfaces that reflect radar waves back toward enemy sensors. Vertical tails, engine nacelles, external fuel tanks, bomb racks, antennas, and exposed weapons all create powerful radar signatures that make detection relatively easy. The B-2 eliminated nearly all of them. Its weapons are carried entirely inside the aircraft, hidden within two enormous internal bomb bays. By removing external bombs and missiles, engineers dramatically reduced radar reflections while also improving aerodynamic efficiency. Even the engines were hidden deep inside the wings. Unlike most military aircraft, whose engines hang beneath the wings or sit openly behind the fuselage, the B-2 buries its four General Electric F1-18 engines within the aircraft itself. Carefully designed air intakes reduce radar exposure, while specialized exhaust systems help cool hot engine gases before they leave the aircraft, making it more difficult for infrared sensors to detect. Every detail was carefully engineered to reduce the aircraft's visibility across multiple detection systems. Radar, infrared, visual observation, even acoustic signatures. Combined, these technologies created one of the lowest observable aircraft ever built. Military officials have never released the B-2's exact radar cross-section, but aviation experts often compare it to something astonishingly small, roughly the radar return of a large bird under ideal conditions. Think about that for a moment. A combat aircraft weighing nearly 160,000 pounds when fully loaded can appear on radar as something no more threatening than wildlife crossing the sky. That level of engineering remains extraordinary even by today's standards. Of course, invisibility alone doesn't win wars. The B-2 also carries enough firepower to alter the outcome of an entire military campaign. Inside its hidden bomb bays, the aircraft can transport up to 60,000 pounds of ordnance, ranging from precision-guided conventional weapons to strategic nuclear payloads. Originally conceived as part of America's nuclear deterrent during the Cold War, the Spirit's mission expanded dramatically after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Instead of preparing solely for nuclear conflict, the aircraft became one of the world's premier precision strike platforms. Whether targeting hardened command bunkers, underground facilities, air defense systems, or critical military infrastructure, the B-2 could deliver devastating firepower with remarkable accuracy while remaining largely undetected. That unique combination of stealth and precision fundamentally changed military planning. Instead of launching massive bombing campaigns involving hundreds of aircraft, commanders could now assign a small number of stealth bombers to eliminate the most dangerous targets during the opening hours of a conflict. Destroy enemy radar, neutralize missile batteries, disable command centers, cripple communications. Once those critical systems disappeared, conventional aircraft could safely follow. In many ways, the B-2 became the aircraft that opened the door for every operation that came after. Yet achieving this capability required far more than advanced engineering. Every B-2 represents thousands of hours of maintenance performed by highly trained specialists. Unlike ordinary bombers, maintaining stealth is an ongoing process. Its radar-absorbing outer coating demands constant inspection and meticulous tiny imperfections, weather exposure, or even routine operational wear can reduce the aircraft's low observable performance. Ground crews carefully inspect every inch of the aircraft before and after missions, ensuring its unique protective surfaces remain intact. The complexity doesn't end there. Before every flight, technicians perform extensive inspections covering avionics, flight controls, navigation systems, hydraulics, engines, communications equipment, and electronic warfare systems. Nothing is left to chance. Because when an aircraft is expected to penetrate the world's most sophisticated air defense networks, absolute reliability is essential. Every successful mission begins long before the pilots climb into the cockpit. It begins inside the maintenance hangars, where hundreds of skilled professionals work behind the scenes to keep one of history's most remarkable aircraft ready for action. And while the B-2's sleek silhouette captures the world's attention, its true strength lies in the incredible technology hidden beneath its surface. In the next part, we'll step inside the B-2 Spirit to explore its advanced weapons systems, precision targeting technology, global strike capability, aerial refueling operations, and the sophisticated flight control systems that allow this extraordinary flying wing to accomplish missions no other bomber on Earth can perform. As remarkable as the B-2 Spirit's stealth technology is, its true power lies in what it can accomplish after slipping unnoticed into hostile airspace. Hidden beneath its smooth flying wing design are two massive internal bomb bays capable of carrying an astonishing variety of precision-guided weapons. Unlike conventional bombers that suspend bombs beneath their wings, every weapon aboard the B-2 remains concealed until the exact moment of release. This not only preserves its stealth profile, but also protects its payload from the harsh aerodynamic forces of high-speed flight. The B-2 can carry up to 60,000 pounds of ordnance, making it one of the most capable strategic bombers ever built. Whether deploying precision-guided JDAMs against hardened military installations or maintaining its role within America's strategic nuclear deterrent, the aircraft is designed to strike with devastating accuracy. Every mission begins long before takeoff, as highly trained weapons specialists carefully inspect, prepare and load each munition according to exact specifications. Every bolt, every connection, and every electronic interface is verified multiple times because even the smallest error could jeopardize an entire mission. But carrying powerful weapons is only part of the equation. Delivering them accurately from thousands of miles away requires one of the most sophisticated avionics systems ever installed in a military aircraft. Inside the cockpit, two pilots manage an extraordinary network of navigation, communication, targeting, and electronic warfare systems. The B-2 integrates satellite navigation, advanced mission computers, terrain mapping, and secure communications into a single seamless battlefield management system. These technologies allow the crew to identify targets with incredible precision while adapting instantly to changing battlefield conditions. Yet perhaps the most fascinating feature of the B-2 is something passengers never experience. It is an aircraft that is constantly flying itself. Unlike traditional airplanes that rely heavily on natural aerodynamic stability, the flying wing design is inherently unstable. Without sophisticated computers, the aircraft would be nearly impossible to control. Instead, a quadruple redundant fly-by-wire system monitors every movement, calculating thousands of corrections every second. These continuous adjustments control the aircraft's elevons, split drag rudders and other flight surfaces with microscopic precision, keeping the bomber perfectly balanced throughout every phase of flight. This digital flight control system allows pilots to focus less on keeping the aircraft stable and more on accomplishing the mission. It transforms what would otherwise be an uncontrollable flying wing into one of the smoothest and most precise aircraft ever operated by the United States Air Force. Its incredible stability becomes even more important during one of the most demanding tasks in military aviation: air-to-air refueling. The B-2's range is already extraordinary, but with aerial refueling, it becomes virtually unlimited. Tanker aircraft rendezvous with the bomber high above the clouds, transferring thousands of pounds of fuel while both aircraft continue flying at high speed. These carefully choreographed operations allow the B-2 to conduct missions lasting well over 30 hours, striking targets on the opposite side of the planet without relying on foreign air bases. Some of the bomber's longest operational missions have required multiple refueling contacts, demonstrating an ability to project American air power almost anywhere on Earth. Few military aircraft possess such global reach, and even fewer can do so while remaining exceptionally difficult to detect. Of course, operating such a revolutionary aircraft comes with enormous challenges. The B-2 is one of the most maintenance-intensive bombers ever produced. Its specialized radar-absorbing coatings require constant attention, with technicians meticulously inspecting the aircraft after every mission. Even minor imperfections in the outer surface can reduce its stealth performance, making maintenance crews just as essential to mission success as the pilots themselves. Every system undergoes detailed inspections, from hydraulic components and landing gear assemblies to engines and electronic warfare equipment. Specialized teams work around the clock to ensure each aircraft remains mission-ready, preserving capabilities that few nations have ever been able to develop. Despite its age, the Spirit continues to serve as one of the most valuable assets in the American military arsenal. But every legendary aircraft eventually reaches the end of its operational journey. The B-2 now stands at the threshold of a new era. After decades of unmatched service, it is gradually preparing to hand over its mission to the next generation of stealth aviation, the B-21 Raider. Designed using decades of operational experience gained from the Spirit, the B-21 promises even greater survivability, lower operating costs, improved networking capabilities, and the flexibility to confront increasingly sophisticated air defense systems. It represents the future of long-range strike operations while honoring the revolutionary legacy established by its predecessor. Even so, the B-2's place in aviation history is secure. It proved that stealth was more than a technological experiment. It demonstrated that an aircraft could fly halfway around the world, evade some of the most advanced air defense networks ever created, deliver precision firepower exactly where needed, and return home without ever revealing its presence. For more than 3 decades, the B-2 Spirit has symbolized innovation, engineering excellence, and strategic deterrence. Its iconic flying wing silhouette has become one of the most recognizable symbols of modern military aviation, inspiring generations of engineers, pilots, and aviation enthusiasts alike. As the sun slowly sets on the era of the Spirit, and a new chapter begins with the B-21 Raider, one thing remains certain. The B-2 did far more than redefine the stealth bomber. It reshaped the very future of aerial warfare, leaving behind a legacy that will influence military aviation for decades to come.